morning shoot-around, you figured out what the matchups will be. Want to give us any insight as to the starting lineup?
Yep, we have an idea of the starting lineup, and I'll let you know tonight.
Patrick was talking about a couple days ago how the letdown from last year, and Mara was saying the team still has a chip on its shoulder. Mari was saying now that your job throughout training camp has been, okay, flush it. Will that take a while? Have you noticed guys still talking about the end of
from last year?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did last year?
This time of year, October.
Right, okay, all right. No, I tell you what, we got a flush last year. This is a new season. I mean, if we lived in the past as human beings, we'd be in trouble. Yeah, it should hurt. We got to use it as motivation. But it's all I've heard is, last year. No, this is a new season. New day, new team, new teammates. We got to go out and show what we're going to do this year. I mean, every team I've been with in the NBA, in Seattle, we won 50 games a year every year. And if we had lived on last year, we didn't make it through the first round of the playoffs a lot of time. But we finally got there. It was a process. And again, I've said it here, we're in a process. We've been in a process since I first got here. And I would dare anybody to say we haven't made steps toward getting there. Now, our next goal, as you're saying, is to move forward. That's our goal. That's our goal every year. But again, you're just not going to wave a wand and say, okay, now we're a championship team. That's our goal. But we didn't go through training camp, woe is me, worrying about last year. We used that as motivation throughout the summer, and but more of a motivational factor than woe is me.
Coach, do you think we, the media, focus too much on the numbers on the position? Because I just asked Amari whether he'll be playing the 3 or the 4. He goes, he doesn't know, but he'll be covering Paul George, so it doesn't really matter. Do you think we look at the number a bit too much, or is it just? Yeah,
I think the NBA now has become a numberless league with the small ball coming in. It's basketball players more so than anything else, and probably the center position. Jonas, you can definitely say he's a 5, but all those other positions, I think we go by, our numbers and, not by the other team's numbers. Because, again, not too many teams start out small the way Indiana does. They eventually get to that. But it's becoming a numberless league.
Over the years, as that trend has sort of spread throughout the league, small ball, Indiana's been one of the few outliers with that big front court that they've had throughout the years. It's sort of strange to see this Pacers team now going small and emphasizing offense over defense.
Right. Well, it is. I'm sure they've have their reasons. Again, I'm not in their boardroom or locker room or coaches' meetings or anything, but they're one of the few teams that start small. Like I said, everybody eventually gets to that, but they present a challenge by starting small, and they either adjust to you or you adjust to them.
Their process, I guess, is sort of similar to what you guys are going through, but the opposite in that they're emphasizing offense after being a strong defensive team last year. How tough is it to find that balance between the two without sacrificing one of the other?
It's very difficult, and we've been caught into that. One year we emphasize offense and your defense suffers, but again, I'm telling you, as a coach, you're striving for balance, and it's always difficult because there's only so many hours a day that you can practice and put on the body. You wish you could practice all day, and half the day offense, half the day defense. You got to put your priorities somewhere. And what happens as a coach, you end up putting your priorities on where your weaknesses are. And if you're working on being a good offensive team, you probably something's going to suffer. And that's why we've worked hard at trying to keep a balance between offense and defense. We've weighed a little bit more on the defense early, and the last week or so, we've really honed in on our offense, trying to get it clicking.
What are we going to see from JV defensively, that being the key to him playing those extended minutes and maybe causing his own matchup?
Well, protecting the rim is one, Michael. I think he's got to do a good job of protecting the rim, staying between the ball and the basket in the pick and roll coverages. Making sure that offensively, I'm not worried about him. I mean, he's one of the top most efficient scorers in the league. He's doing a much better job of passing out. But again, the most important thing he can do is protect the rim. Going vertical at the rim, blocking shots, challenging shots at the rim. I think that's the most important thing to do. And also, too, be our communicator back there. He's got to be our radar in the back of the defense. He can learn from Bismack. Bismack's he speaks 5 languages, and one that everybody understands is English, and he speaks it well on the court. So he can learn from him on that, just communicating. And our motto is the big is never wrong. If JV calls out something, even if it's wrong, you got to do it. And we'll deal with that part later.
Have you seen progress? I know
He's made progress, made steps in preseason, but again, like I said, tonight's a new season, and we got to see it in the regular game. But he's making progress and steps.
Coach, with so many new faces in the lineup, what's been the challenge for you to kind of bring everybody together in terms of chemistry? I know that's a word that we use a lot. Right. And where is that right now, or is it an ongoing process?
Well, that's an ongoing process because you're getting to know people. We haven't faced adversity. I think that's when you really get to know people. When things don't go well, you find out who your friends are and who's your enemy, who's out to get you, so to speak, and we haven't faced that yet. But right now we're tied in together. Everyone understands their roles. But again, that's an ongoing process throughout the year. And I've always said guys can play their way into the lineup and they can play their way out of the lineup. So those roles will change. But I think that's the most important thing about our chemistry this year is guys understanding their roles, who they are, what their job is, and executing their job to the fullest. But our chemistry right now is good. Guys are in the right place, communicating, they're talking. They know the pecking order, so to speak, and that's a good thing.
Have you seen an improvement in the vocal element, not just from the guys who've come here, but also even from DeMar, because that's what you asked of him at the end of the season?
No question. Yeah, DeMar, I think, Bismack has had an effect. He and DeMar talk on defense, and it's contagious. And I hear JV talking more. I hear DeMar talking more. Kyle never stops talking, so he's talking more defensively, and that's the key thing. And even offensively, you hear guys talking to each other. So that's rubbed off. There's a better communication with our guys. The guys are doing a good job from that standpoint. Now we just got to go out tonight and execute it.
11 of the first 15 on the road, and still working in a lot of those new faces as well. Are you anticipating a tougher start than you had last?
It's going to be tougher, Josh. There's no question. The schedule is. You look at that and say, "Well, that's why I look maybe 2 games ahead, 1 game ahead." Because if I looked at, I don't drink, but if I drank, I'd be an alcoholic right now, and just because of the daunting road. But I do think that we have a tough-minded group. More so, I don't fear the road as much as you would with a younger team. We have some guys that are mentally tough. Damari, we've added some guys. Our guys that have been here are mentally tough. So, it's scary, but not as it would be if you had a rookie team going out there on the road. Our guys, we've knock on wood, performed well on the road and hasn't been as challenging. But again, our schedule, with that said, our schedule does look daunting if you just sit back and look at it, at the road, the number of games on the road.
It's almost flipped this year. Is it almost better to get that chunk of road games over with at the beginning of the year rather than the end when guys are sort of hurting a little bit?
That if you had your druthers, I'd rather not go to Oklahoma City right off the bat and Dallas and some of those tough teams. But again, if you had your druthers, you would do that. It's going to be a test, and our record may not be as good starting out the season as it was last year, just because of that. But I think it will make us better going through those games at the beginning and kind of understanding where our weak points are and flaws are early rather than what it was last year.